Alrighty, today I'm going to be doing a rear main seal on this Chevy Silverado. You're going to need an 11 for the drive shaft, for sure 10 millimeter, 13, 15, 18. I like using these swivel sockets. You're going to need a 15 deep, 21 deep, 24 deep, a super long extension to get to these bell housing bolts, and you might need a pry bar to jiggle loose the transmission. But what I usually like to start with, let's make a little list here.
We are looking for Blue's Clues.
And I do write like a 5-year-old. I'm sorry. I will do my best. Step 1 is remove drive shaft. Okay, so I've removed all these 11 millimeter bolts holding these two U-joint caps on. You just stick your pry bar flathead in here. You're gonna pry this, slide the shaft out, and it's gonna allow it to drop. If you're doing this in the driveway, make sure you chalk your wheels, because it doesn't matter if it's in park. Once you disconnect this drive shaft, this sucker's gonna roll. It's gone.
Should be able to just stick a bar in here and make it loose.
So chuck the wheels, put the parking brake on, just for your own safety. And once you get this out of the tail shaft housing here, this is gonna pee a little bit on you. A little bit of transmission fluid is gonna come out, so get you a bucket, get it up under here.
Gotcha, bitch!
Okay, remove drive shaft. Number 2, Jesus, I write so bad. The bolt holding the trans mount, okay, it's just 115. I'm gonna support the trans.
Of support across the country yesterday for International Transgender Day.
And then this would be like a combo, plus remove cross member. This is gonna be the trans mount cross member. So here's my step 2, let's do it. Here's our trans mount cross member. Here's our single 15 millimeter nut. When I undo this nut, I'm gonna support the trans. These should be 21 millimeters with some big old nuts on the backside. And then I'm gonna remove this and then let the trans hang down. Let's get to it. So I'm gonna raise the trans just to release the pressure and the weight off the cross member, so that when I do undo the cross member, it's not under stress and that doesn't want to fall down. All right, let's get these 21s out of here. So at this point, you want to be careful, because once you're down to 1 bolt, this sucker can swing out on you. If it's loose, it can come down and swing. But more often than not, they're kind of stuck in there, and you gotta hammer them out a little bit. So it should be okay.
Kobe!
Just like that.
That's what I'm talking about!
Okay, let's come over to what my step 3 is gonna be, and this is just my list, you know, the way I'm gonna attack this job. 3 is gonna be the exhaust, and this truck has an aftermarket exhaust, so it's got these pen in the butt like slip joints. So that's gonna be, you can leave your stock kind of like a catback on, but you do have to remove the Y pipe. So exhaust, Y pipe. So let's get this out of here, and then once the exhaust is moved, we can unload the support of the trans and let it hang. Removing the Y pipe is going to entail removing the oxygen sensor connectors upstream and downstream if you do have them. This one here, the harness goes to the side of the transmission. Your passenger side, upstream and downstream, should be right here on top of the frame rail. The connectors should be close to each other. Yeah, here we go. This one does not have downstreams, just upstreams. Like I said, it's aftermarket, so don't forget to undo these, or else you might be tearing your harness as you remove the exhaust system.
Hammer time. Go with the flow. It's going down.
Okay, now that we have the transmission hanging, we're going to go on to what I consider step 4 for me. It's going to be removing harnesses and connectors, transmission lines, anything like that. Just kind of stripping the transmission, if you will. That's also disconnecting the shift linkage. I'm going to do all that on this step 4. So I'm going to put connectors plus lines plus linkage and anything else that's along those lines. Hey, if you know, you know. These little guys, no matter how good you are, these will get away on you. These suckers like to fly off. But these are the clips holding the transmission lines into the trans. Also on the other end, if you have like a radiator or transcooler for the lines to go into, this is on that end as well. So get these two out, and then you can just pull the lines out and get you a bucket. It's gonna pee a little bit. So on your like 4060s and 6080s and whatnot, I'll unplug the harness and get everything done. And usually you can just swing it around and go ahead and just get it off to the driver's side. And you'll have like a vent, some vent tubing. You can go and pull the vent tubing off. You just saw me get the trans lines out. I unplugged the VSS sensor. This is your main trans plug right here. This will be different on various, makes and models. 4060 right there. 6L80 right there, but it's like a twist, different release mechanism. But yeah, everything is released, linkage is off. So now let's go on to my step 5. Step 5 is gonna be another combo line. I like combinations. Chicken fried rice combo with a sweet tea. It's gonna be starter. Once the starter's out of the way, that's going to give us access to remove the torque converter bolts. Torque con bolts. I'm starting to stain this up real good. Yeah, so let's get the starter out. That's going to be 2 13mm bolts. And go ahead and disconnect the battery, because with this guy dangling, you can short this out on the frame rail, or I don't know, something goofy can happen. So get that starter out with the battery disconnected, so you can get to these. And the torque converter bolts are going to be 15mm. So 13mm, 15mm. Let's get to it. This is where the 24mm is going to come into play from earlier in the video. I'm going to use this to rotate the crank pulley, which is, I gotta remove this skid plate. Yeah, check out this crank pulley. It's gonna be up in there. I'm gonna rotate the crank pulley, and it's gonna be spinning the flywheel and allow me to get 2 different converter bolts, which is gonna be through here.
Come on, you motherfucker. Ah, shit. God damn it. Same shit, different day.
So I'm gonna get the bolt like in the corner, right about there, and then I should be able to get to it with the swivel. So to get to the converter bolts, we need this broom. No, I'm just playing. I'm gonna use the same super long extension that I'm gonna use for the bell housing bolts. Because these older Chevys, they're a little bit tighter between the frame rails. There's not enough, or not as much room as like the newer ones. Because the converter bolts are here. I mean, I can get to it with like a ratchet or something, but power tools, right? I got it. So right here, this is the path I'm going. Straight through everything. Here we go. It's running here. And then peekaboo, it comes out right here, right where I need it. Let me get a close-up of this. So I'm going to be using this hand to set it on the converter bolt. Over here, I can put my impact. And then one by one, I'm going to zap loose these converter bolts. And yeah, man, that's it. One.
The number of the day is 1.
Two.
The number of the day is 2.
Three. Can you say three?
Number of the day is 3.
Back to our handy dandy notepad here. We are on to the final step of removing this transmission and getting to the rear main seal. Final step of this video, at least. Number 6. We're going to remove the bell housing bolts plus drop trans. That'll be the end of this one. All right, guys, so from here, the last thing is to do is to get your whatever method you're going to use to support the transmission. I have a transmission jack. I'm going to set that under the trans pan. Make sure it's nice and level so it doesn't, you know, get all wonky on you and want to slide off or something. So 2 15s down here. There's 2 15s here, 2 15s here. You've got a 15 stud directly on the top of the bell housing. And you can basically only get to that by sneaking a really long extension. I don't know if you can. Oh yeah, you can. You can see it. Right, that little guy right there. I hate you, by the way. Hate you. Well, there it is. I'm gonna remove the back block cover because there's a big gasket that goes around the perimeter of that thing, plus your rear main seal that's in the center. I'm gonna be replacing all that, get this all nice and sealed up because it is a little leaky. You said they were slow as fuck though, no? Oh, I just fucking died.
Right there. I think. We'll figure.
Alright, so I've got the back of the block cleaned up really well. I went ahead and already moved off the plates, but you can see, you know, what's involved in that when I go to reinstall everything. I'm going to set this block cover in place. If you're not doing the oil pan, I would suggest putting silicone on the bottom corners. Stay put. It's not going to stay. But put silicone here if you're not doing the oil pan. But I am going to do the oil pan, so I'm going to go ahead and install this dry, and then when I drop the pan, I'm going to put some sealants where these three seams meet, because you've got the oil pan and the timing cover and the block all coming together at this corner, so you're going to need some sort of sealant there. So let me get this gasket and the new cover back on. It's a new updated design. Let me get that started, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, here's the new rear main plates. It's a new updated design. On the old one, these weren't recessed. Actually, I have the old one here. It's flat right here and it's thicker, but on the new updated design, it's got a little recess with shallower mounting bolts. It's supposed to be upgraded and less prone to leakage, and it comes with the seal already in here. So that's nice. That's installed. Everything's torqued to spec. Now I'm going to put the flex plate back on, and with the flex plate, I do recommend using Loctite. There's a few things I always Loctite, and it's your flex plate or flywheel bolts, and you're going to want to Loctite your torque converter bolts as well. Anything that's under a lot of stress, a lot of RPM, a lot of vibration, it's a good idea to Loctite. So I've already got those kind of set up over here. So let's get that installed. Flex plate has been Loctited, bolted on. These are 15mm bolts, and it's got this little pin right there, so I went ahead and just lined it up to the way it came out. Not sure if it makes a difference, but you know, better safe than sorry, I guess. So now it's time to install the trans. All right, well, there I have it for this video. Rear main seal is done, torque converter seal. Up next, I'm going to do the oil pan gasket, valve cover gaskets. So I went ahead and left out the two bottom 15s and these two 10s, because next video I'm going to be doing the oil pan. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's all reverse order. You know, there's a new tail shaft seal. So one of the things I'm going to be doing to this truck is installing a G80 posi track. I'm going to be using the stock ring and pinion, just swapping over the G80 carrier. So that's going to be fun. Thanks for watching the video.